I was literally on my knees with a gun to my head, execution style, and being told to beg for my life.
So tell me, because the first time we met, I remember seeing you in Adelaide and you look really confident and taking on the world, but then when it comes to being on camera and being seen, there was something there for you.
Yeah, I really didn't have much confidence. I've always been someone who can project on the outside that I'm a confident person, but on the inside, not so much. So obviously lots of inner work there, but yeah, I just really didn't like the look of myself on camera, the sound of myself on camera. Plus I had some other personal things going on, and I wanted to stay, I wanted to get my message out there, but I also wanted to stay hidden because I felt safe.
A lot of people that we talk to have big things that may have happened in their life. And I really wanted you to share, because I think this is what keeps people stuck in a lot of cases. They don't want to be seen, or they're scared that somebody is going to see them. So can you share some of your background of why you never wanted to be seen?
Yeah, so what happened for me close on 10 years ago was my husband committed suicide. I was left without a job, without an income. My kids didn't have their dad. Everything fell apart, and it was a terrible incidence of domestic violence. It wasn't just a case of a simple suicide. It was a terrible domestic violence incident.
And was that a long lead up, with your personal, just your own self-image of who you were was just shattered over a period of time? Did that happen over a period of time, this incident, or was there a build up to that?
Well, it was a 15-year marriage, and love my husband very much, still do, despite all the terrible things that happened, but it was definitely a domestic violent relationship for pretty much the entirety of it. I just didn't realise it, and I also didn't realise how much my self-confidence had been crushed, because as a young person I thought I was quite a confident person, but over time, when I got out of it, I realised how much confidence I didn't have, and how much fear I had, and lack of self-belief. So.
And I think for you, I'd like to just go, because it was a suicide, but it was so much more than that. I mean,
Yes.
Just take us through that terrifying moment of what happened that day, that everything changed.
So what happened was I'd separated from my husband for a couple of months, and I worked for his company. So I went to work, and like any normal day, I locked the door behind me. I walked in and basically walked into an ambush. My husband was not supposed to be anywhere near me at the time, and I walked into my office, and then I heard my name. Chills ran up my spine, and my husband was standing there with a great big rifle, high-powered rifle. So as you can imagine,
Pointing at you, or?
He was just holding it in the doorway and said my name. So chills ran down my spine. I just, all sorts of things ran through my head as basically escape. How do I get out of here? But every way I thought of getting out ended up with me essentially being shot.
Yeah.
So it lasted an hour or just over an hour, but it ended up with me walking away alive. Obviously, I'm here, and my husband committed suicide. So that wasn't, I don't think that was his intention. But it's the way it worked out.
So you don't think he was going to commit suicide that day?
I don't think so, because he had a ticket out of the country that day.
Okay.
So I walked in, and I honestly believe he was there to take my life. At one point I thought it was over. I was literally on my knees. A lot happened in that 1 hour, which I won't go into all the details, but I was literally on my knees with a gun to my head, execution style, and being told to beg for my life. And in that moment, there was a moment where I gave up, Rachel, and I just went, that's it. I just want this over with, because the fear and the torment of what was going to happen overcame me. And then I had a vision, and that was of my son, my eldest, who was 6 at the time, and my mum and one of my sisters, telling him that he didn't have a mum or a dad. And that gave me the will to live. At that moment, I decided I'm going to live. And I literally prayed on my knees, God, please get me out of here alive. I knew I had to survive, and I did.
Wow. I mean, that's just, when I think about, and I have no idea what that situation would be like, and I just think of what you mentioned then and how terrifying it would be to be seen after that moment, and to be visible when there's family members and your children, and so much happened after that. And your self-confidence and all of that, to just go, you know what, I'm gonna be seen and do that no matter what, is amazing.
Thank you.
And yeah, I just want to give you a hug, because it's what you've been through is massive, and thank you for everything that you've pulled through and that you're doing for your children and everything. It's amazing.
I'm blessed to be here and blessed to have really good people around me, so including yourself.
And I really thank you for sharing that, because I know last week we had our mastermind event, and there was a lot of people that were had their one-on-one time and personal time with me, and more really big stories were coming out, and I really feel that we create a safe space for people.
You do, Rachel. I mean, I felt safe, obviously, to share with you, and at one of your events, I think even after I shared my story live out there in the whole world of social media, I've had tears in the green room as well. So you create a safe space for people, and women in particular, to open up and share their stories. And everybody has a story, and that's one thing I don't like, is comparing, like, oh, that's so terrible, my story wasn't as bad as yours or whatever. It's not about that. It's your own personal journey. It's who you can impact with your story, because there will be someone that resonates and it will trigger something and help them make a change. And that's really, really important.
And just acknowledging that story and acknowledging your life, and the things that are good, and the things that are crap, and the things that we take on, and the lessons we all learn. And I think what I love about working with people in the video space is acknowledging your life, because it's acknowledgement that heals as well.
Absolutely, it does heal, and I think it's so important to get those stories. Personally, I have my podcast, and I love interviewing people and getting under the layers to the backstory to what they're doing, not like that they're just an owner of a gym, or or they have a particular business. I want to know why, how, what brought them to that place, and everyone's got that personal journey, and people really love to know that.
It gives your business more depth, because people understand why you do what you do, because this is the path you've created for yourself. Yeah. And then they can see, well, okay, I understand now. And the fact that I went through my own camera confidence issues and had massive fears and ridiculed in front of the camera, and that really affected me, and that's exactly why I want to make it safe for other people. I don't want to ridicule people. I want to make it safe so that people feel comfortable to share their stories and share just part of who they are, you know, and because that's a legacy. Once you have that video out there, that's a memory, that's a legacy, and you just don't know what's going to be here for tomorrow. So
absolutely,
having that story out there to share it's part of your legacy.
Look, what you're doing with your own journey, with the story that you share about not having confidence, is amazing, because so many people are coming through your program and your mentorship with Girl Director and getting out there and sharing. And you say you want to create a safe space, and that's exactly what you are doing. And your 7-day camera confidence challenge, that's amazing as well. And that was the first step to trying to get comfortable. And at every step, you are creating that safe space. I know I certainly felt safe and nurtured and able to be honest and real. I have had coaching before. I was like, okay, I've got to sort of keep up this facade, and like I'm at this certain level. But I mean, even recently we had a conversation. I was just totally open with where I'm at. The ups and the downs. So, and that's because of the safety that you create. So, and the trust. There's that trust with you. So, I thank you for that.
So, thank you so much, Fatima, for sharing. I know that so many people will really benefit from hearing your story. So really thank you for coming and sharing your wisdom.
You're welcome. It's been an honour, and I appreciate everything you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.